The unlikely escape. My name is Travis, and I've always been the type to stay away from trouble. But trouble has a way of finding you, especially when it comes in the form of a woman. It all started when I stumbled upon Megan in the alley behind my apartment building, her face smeared with dirt, and a look of sheer panic in her eyes. "Help me," she whispered, clutching a small, tattered journal to her chest. I should have walked away, pretended I didn't see her, but something about her desperation struck a chord. Before I could respond, a shadow loomed over us. "He's coming," she said, her voice trembling. And then I heard the footsteps. The footsteps grew louder, more menacing. Without thinking, I grabbed Megan's hand and pulled her into my apartment, slamming the door behind us. "Who are you running from?" I demanded, but Megan's eyes darted around the room, searching for an escape route. "There's no time to explain," she said, her voice urgent. "You have to hide me." A loud bang echoed through the hallway, and I knew whoever was after her was getting closer. I pointed towards the closet, and she darted inside. Just as I turned to lock the door, it burst open. A burly man stood there, his eyes full of rage. "Where is she?" "I don't know who you're talking about," I lied, trying to sound convincing. The man wasn't buying it. He shoved me aside and started tearing through my apartment, looking for Megan. I could hear her breathing in the closet, and I prayed he wouldn't. The man finally stopped, his eyes narrowing as he turned back to me. "If I find out you're lying, you're dead," he growled. With one last threatening glare, he stormed out, leaving the door wide open. I exhaled a shaky breath and opened the closet. Megan stepped out, her face pale but determined. "We need to leave," she said. "Now." We fled into the night, dodging through alleyways and side streets. Megan's grip on my hand was tight, and I could feel her fear through her trembling fingers. "Can you tell me what's going on now?" I asked, trying to keep up with her frantic pace. Megan glanced back, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and resolve. "That man works for my ex-fiancé," she said. "He wants something. I have this journal. It's evidence that could ruin him." I glanced at the journal, realizing how much danger we were really in. Suddenly, a car screeched around the corner, headlights blinding us. "Get down," I yelled, pulling Megan into a narrow alleyway just as the car sped past. We crouched behind a dumpster, hearts pounding in unison. "Do you have any place we can go?" Megan whispered, her breath hot against my ear. I thought quickly. "My friend Jamal has a cabin outside the city," I said. "It's secluded. We can hide there." Megan nodded, and we started moving again, this time more cautiously. As we navigated the back streets, a laugh bubbled up inside me, despite the danger. "What's so funny?" Megan asked, puzzled. "Nothing like a midnight run to get the adrenaline pumping," I quipped. We reached Jamal's cabin just as dawn broke. The place was quiet, isolated, and exactly what we needed. Jamal, bless his heart, didn't ask too many questions. He took one look at Megan, then at me, and just nodded. "You two can stay as long as you need," he said, handing me the keys. Megan finally relaxed a little, and we spent the day hiding out, planning our next move. That evening, as we sat by the fireplace, Megan opened up. "I never wanted any of this," she said, tears glistening in her eyes. "I just wanted a normal life." Before I could respond, there was a knock on the door. We froze, hearts pounding once more. Jamal motioned for us to stay quiet and approached the door cautiously. He peered through the peephole and then opened it slightly. "It's Brittany," he said, letting his girlfriend in. Brittany's eyes widened when she saw us. "I saw someone lurking around outside," she said, her voice low. "I think they found you." Panic surged through me as we hurried to pack our things. Megan's face was a mix of fear and determination. "We have to go now," she said, grabbing the journal. Just as we were about to leave, the door burst open, and the burly man from before stood there, gun in hand. "End of the line," he snarled, aiming the gun at Megan. My mind raced, trying to think of a way out. "Wait," I shouted, stepping between Megan and the man. "You want the journal, right? Take it, and leave us alone." Megan gasped, but I gave her a reassuring look. The man smirked, lowering his gun slightly. "Hand it over," he said. Megan hesitated, then slowly extended the journal towards him. At that moment, Jamal lunged at the man, knocking the gun out of his hand. The room erupted into chaos as we struggled to subdue him. Finally, we tied him up, breathing heavily. Megan turned to me, tears of relief streaming down her face. "Thank you," she whispered. As we sat there, exhausted but safe, I realized that this unlikely escape had brought us together in a way nothing else could. And maybe, just maybe, it was the start of something beautiful.